then everything explodes and goes wrong. Easy.
Yep, most likely.
Oh man, you're starting to break up a little bit in Discord. Please, Discord.
Oh no, no Discord, please.
Oh, but now you sound good.
Good.
Oof. Well, that's always something I don't even think about. Like sometimes the Discord server for like the voice calls or whatever, they kind of just
yeah, glitch out.
They kind of just mess up sometimes.
Mm.
There's so many points of failure in these streams. It's like absolutely unreal.
Maarten's first in the chat as well.
And now we wait.
Oh, yeah, okay.
What?
No, nothing. I just not refreshed something, and it said something wrong on my screen. But I just need to refresh it. It just user error. And it's early in the morning, so I have an excuse.
Or it's late at night.
When does it trend? Because okay, so it's 2 o'clock. So when does it transition from being late at night to being early morning? If it's after you've had a sleep, then it's early morning because I had a nap. So
well, see, that's the thing, right? I think it kind of has to depend on maybe how much sleep you've had. If you're done sleeping, like you're completing your following day with the amount of sleep you've already had, it's the next day. It is today.
But if I've only had a nap for a couple of hours, then it's still the same day.
If you plan to take another nap before you like continue your day, yeah.
Right. Okay.
If you're not fully rested, as much as you're planning to get, then it's not the next day.
Right. Okay.
That's how I see it, at least. Like if I haven't slept yet, it hasn't changed days.
Fair enough.
And it's always funny because like I'll be up in the Discord at like 4 a.m. my time talking to people, and like I'll refer to like today as in technically the previous day, and tomorrow as in technically today. And of course, everyone else in the world is ahead of me in time zone, basically. So everyone's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, I always have to like correct myself because people won't really understand what I mean.
Fair enough. No, I get you. Okay, that makes sense. I'll go with that. Geo agrees with your description of a day restart, so that's cool. Who else have we got in chat? It's Undone, Neflek, Elliot, Maarten Watt as well. Cool. Oh, the bot's pinged already. Wow. That was
wow. Quick. Bot really quick today. Holy crap.
What is going on?
Double ping again? Wait. I only see the bot once.
Elliot gets it off of my old server that I used to run for my that I haven't managed to delete yet. I need to sort it out. Don't worry, I'll sort it out. I'll pick up with that.
Don't scare me like that. Neflek asking if Jay just went black and white for a second. Yeah,
I did. I saw that. Yeah.
So yeah, we're the camera program that we're using right now, a browser-based app called Jitsi, gets the job done, but it definitely has some pros and cons to it. So hopefully next week we'll have a better app to use that should look a lot cleaner and a lot more consistent. But unfortunately, at this moment in time, we have to work with what we have because we don't really have time to look for another one at the moment.
Yeah, but we have got something set up, as Brian says, for next week. So hopefully next week my video feed will be a little bit clearer, a little bit crisper, and no black and white spots as well. We hope.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Ray as well, the Raging Asian, tier 1 subscription for 11 months. Thank you very much. And yes, we are a little bit early, but we went early because we expected the bot to take about 15 minutes to ping, and it took 2. So
yeah, that was something we weren't expecting for sure. Oh man. All right, how does the audio sound, guys? Do we sound okay? I'll make sure we got everything right before the stream officially starts, which is kind of the main reason why we go live a little bit earlier like this. Makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah. Just tell me if Brian's got me muted again, guys.
Yeah. Yep, I've had you muted this whole time.
Gia says the audio volume is actually really nice today. Good. We did spend a little bit longer. Brian did spend a little bit longer than normal.
I actually tried today. Just kidding.
And Neflock as well with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much, dude. 5 months on the bounce. So thank you very much for that, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty much convinced that the audio is just kind of random always, whether I leave it the same or not. So we just kind of like hope it works.
Pretty much.
Like if we hit the nail on the head, then like awesome. But it wasn't because of us. It was just luck. Ray had to rush a stream today because he didn't want to step on our toes. You stream whenever you want, man.
Yeah.
I know Nathan, I think, sometimes streams during Top Clack.
Yeah. Maybe I should start streaming during Top Clack.
Maybe you should start streaming Top Clack.
No, streaming during Top Clack. It was a joke.
No. Yeah. You should go live during today's episode.
Yeah, I should do. Well, I wonder what that'd do. Probably
they'll never see it coming
if I tried to do. Yeah. Captain Schwa with the Tier 1 subscription for 18 months. Thank you very much, dude. Nice. We must be due to see a 19-month sub soon. We must be due to see that. I feel like that's coming.
I think so. Captain Schwa, he's like a real OG. He was one of our first subscribers.
Okay.
He's like about as OG gets as far as Top Clack viewers.
Yeah, more OG than this host. Nice.
Yeah. I think, if I recall, it might have been on the 1-year anniversary, he also won almost like a one-off Cosmonaut that Key Collective donated. It was the
cool.
Event Horizon colorway with like these like swirls in the eyes and like, oh man, it was sick.
That sounds really cool. Yeah, if you've got a picture of that, Captain Shot, I would definitely love to see that cap. If you've still got it, take a picture, please.
So yeah, he says back in the Patreon days. Yeah, we've had Patreon in quite a while. Patreon wound up being it'd probably make more sense now, but it was more trouble than it was worth back in that day.
Yeah. Dixie Mac as well with the 7 months of subscriptions. So thank you very much, Dixie.
Words, they're hard.
Yeah, words are hard. Yeah, tongue's bad. And Smallwind as well with Twitch Prime subscription for 6 months. So thank you very much for that as well, dude.
Yeah. Tokyo Coffee Nerd in the house. Very nice to see you. Asks, do you guys ever cross your streams? I
thought we weren't supposed to cross the streams. I'm pretty sure that the powers that be told us that was a bad idea.
I mean, you gotta like try it, right?
Sure.
Yeah, sure, cool. Smallwind subs for 6 months in a row. Twitch Prime, thank you for that, sir. And morning from Tokyo. Thanks, Alvin. I guess it was morning for you, huh? Like late morning.
Yeah, it must be getting on for lunchtime in Tokyo now. I'd have thought.
I think he's like 16 hours ahead of me or something like that.
Yeah.
Into the future.
Absolutely. I've got William S. Jones in the chat as well. Good afternoon, good sir. I'm looking forward to your 40% buys, by the way. I know you've got a bit of a list of things coming, so we might have some good news for you in the news doc, actually. Something for you to pay attention to.
Oh. Can you dig it? No. I might be able to dig it. Sometimes I can dig it.
What determines whether you can or can't dig it, Brian?
I don't know. Maybe how good you are at digging. What kind of equipment you're using.
Okay.
So I use a shovel in each hand, so like I'm pretty good at digging.
Well, your hands are shovels, so you know.
Exactly.
There's a great there's a great screen capture on our YouTube channel where you're holding, I think it's an E6V2, and your hands just entirely dwarf the board, and you can't actually see it. And you know, when I saw that, I thought, is that a 40% that the exclusive's done that I don't know about? And I actually went and picked up my E6V2 and held it in my hands. I'm thinking, these are different boards. They don't look right. And yeah, it was bizarre. It was a bit of an experience to look at that.
Yeah, I get that a lot too. Some of the cons of being a larger man. I suppose. Mountain Block subs tier 1 sub for 4 months in a row. Hey there, boys, he says. Hey there to you as well. Glad to see you around.
Good evening, good stuff. Yeah. And J-Shuff as well with the tier 1 sub gift to take to the streets. Thank you very much to J-Shuff for that. Very much appreciated.
Yeah. I was like, oh man. I was waiting for the bot to ping the Discord, but I totally forgot it pinged it like only after a couple minutes, so...
Yeah, it pinged ages ago.
We don't really have to wait for it. That's epic. Cyber Sam, Twitch Prime, 11 months in a row sub. Thank you for that, sir. All right, so I guess we can kind of get right into it. So I'm gonna roll an intro for you guys. Man, that intro is really outdated. I need to make a new one.
Yeah, we should make a new one. I was thinking this.
I'm looking at like the things in the intro, and I'm like, wow, that was when like Krellbit was sending out like 204 grade 0 samples and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's like such random assortment of things. Anyways, welcome to this week's episode of Top Clack. I am your host Quakeums, here with my my co-host and lover Jay. And
good evening.
I'm going to say something different every single time about you.
I wasn't expecting that. It kind of made me stop in my tracks when I processed what I said there. I was going to say something else, but yeah.
Okay. My goal is to try to make people as uncomfortable on the show as possible.
Well, I feel uncomfortable now.
Okay, good. No. Good. Then we're getting somewhere. Anyways, welcome to this week's episode. We got some good things in store for you today. We got our nice collected news doc as usual. We do have a guest today as well. As you can probably see from the title, it's going to be Maarten. He's a PCB designer and does some other things as well. So we'll get to that a little bit later, and of course we'll round it out at the end with a Q&A like we always do. But first,
absolutely,
to start out, we got a little bit of a mail call.
Yeah,
just a little one. It's a tiny little mail call.
Yeah, it's only a small one this week. Yeah.
You didn't go quite as hard as you normally do.
Hey, well, no, I didn't. But I suspect it's going to be a quite few weeks going forwards for now. But I'll start anyway. I'll go for it. So the first couple of things I picked up was DSA Milkshake. So I've got all of the kits here for DSA Milkshake, which was pretty cool. We're going to find a board to put that on. Secondly, Massdrop finally sorted me out with their second part of the order. So they shipped the first half of my Switch order a couple of weeks ago. Failed to put my my Halo Clears in, but I finally got hold of them. So these are going to go. The stems for these are going to go J01 in a build stream soon, in some Yok Red Pandas. And then finally, I got a couple of artisans as well. So this one I got a Spriggan Soup for Cthulhu, and I also got a nice Ameri Indians. Which comes in a lovely little box, if you can hold it up. A little cap as well, which is quite cute. And that's about it. That's about all I got this week.
You're like kind of into artisans more than I feel like I noticed before.
Really? I used to try and keep it quite quiet, but now people keep pinging me about them, and I find myself spending more money on artisans.
Yeah. I feel like every week you're showing off like 1 or 2 or 3 artisans now.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
The collection's growing.
I haven't joined an artisan sale or raffle in so long, man. So long. As it has been in recent times, my mail call isn't terribly exciting today. Nothing super duper fancy, except for one thing. So if you guys might have remembered a while back I did a stream where I built my Zephyr, which was pretty nice. I like that board a lot, but I was kind of having some issues with the PCB, and it was being very weird. And eventually I did get it working, and then I stopped using it for a while. Then I tried to plug it in just the other day, and it was having the same issues again. And I was like, well, crap. I'm going to have to get a new PCB. And so I told Zeal about it, and of course, Zeal being the good guy that he is, he just straight up sent me a replacement Zeal 65 PCB for it. Nice. So I'm really, really, really happy he did that, and shout outs to him, of course, for hooking me up there so I can actually use my Zephyr again, which I've been wanting to for a while, but haven't been able to.
Yeah, my wife's just brought her Zephyr home from work the past couple of days, actually. It's just on the wall behind me, just up there. So there's no problems with it. She's just decided that she wants a louder switch in it. So I put Helios in it previously, and now she wants a louder switch in it. So
a louder switch, she says.
Yeah, for the office as well. So, I've got to rebuild that.
Interesting. How does she feel about the Zephyr, like, in its entirety, though?
She really likes it. She said it's really hefty. It stays on her desk. It doesn't move around. Everyone looks and stares at it because it's bright red. She really likes, and she just likes that it's a really solid thing. She likes really hefty things. She's a really heavy typist, a bit like I am. So yeah, she loves it. But yeah, she wants a louder switch in it. So I'm tempted to go really loud and put something like a box navy in there and see how she feels about that.
Oh wow!
But I just feel that's creating more work for myself because I'll end up rebuilding it to something else afterwards. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
All right, cool. So we're gonna jump into our news doc momentarily here, but before we do, we want to talk a little bit about Mech Madness. So if you guys have maybe been living under a rock and you haven't been paying too much attention, Mech Madness is a pretty cool tournament thing that's going on. If you're really into keyboards, you're really into the community, then this is definitely something you should be checking out. So let me just explain to you guys what this is for those of you that might not be in the know already. So Mech Madness 2019, it's a head-to-head showdown to determine the best of the best. There's 2 brackets, one for key sets, one for keyboards. All of the designs are from 2018, so these are things that are already happened. It's a bracket-style system. You earn points correctly by predicting who you think is going... So, let me rephrase that. You earn points for correctly predicting who you think the public chooses in each matchup until you eventually have a winner. Points for correct guesses double every single round. So round 1 point is awarded for a correct guess. Round 2 is 2 points. Round 3 is 4 points. Round 4 is 8 points. And round 5 is 16 points. The highest scorers at the end earn prizes. So, pretty cool stuff there. You can do your predictions now, right there on the site. Hopefully, we linked it there. Awesome. The brackets,
the link's in that. Yep.
Brackets close February 28th, 10 p.m. Central Time. So that's actually like right after Top Clack next week.
Yes, about a week away. Yeah.
Yeah. So like almost exactly a week from today. Pretty easy stuff there. And then the beginning of March, we'll have the voting going on for the winners of each matchup. Each matchup will be voted on an Instagram poll on the Dixie Mech Instagram story. Each poll will be open for 24 hours. So you guys got to get on Instagram if you're not already. Subscribe, follow Dixie Mech there, and then you'll be able to see the polls there, and you'll be able to vote there. And then, you'll find out what happens later on. And hopefully you get some guesses right. Hopefully you get lots of guesses right. Hopefully you get all the guesses right, because there could be some pretty cool prizes. So just recently, maybe even today even, he actually has all the prizes listed out for the winners here.
Well, not quite all the prizes.
Well, not quite all the prizes, but we're getting there, right? One of them's still a little bit of a secret, maybe, but there are some rumors going around. So, yeah, let's just take a look at these real quick, because this is brand new to me, as I'm sure it probably is to most of you as well. So, if you get a perfect bracket, we don't know what you're going to win yet, because he hasn't settled on what a quote-unquote grand prize is going to be if you predict every matchup correctly. But that'd be pretty crazy. Rumor has it might be a Bauer or Bauer prototype. A really, really interesting looking board that he's been working on. That's just a rumor. We don't know what's going on yet. Moving on, here are some first place prizes. So if you, let's say you get first place in the key set bracket, you can get a KBD keyboard kit, KBD fans keyboard kit, which is still to be decided, and then also a set of GMK Q01. So the way this works, if you guys might have been confused like me, is there are only going to be one winner for each bracket for each place. So for instance here, this is only going to be one winner. One winner will win the keyboard kit from KBD fans and the GMK Q01. So those aren't two separate prizes. Those are bundled into one prize for one person. So just keep that in mind. So let's take a look at some of these prizes, because this is kind of hype. So we have KBD fans keyboard kits. We got GMK Q01 on the keyboard bracket. We have a mass drop control and DSA Ferris. Yeah, that's going to be our first place. Our second place, which is pretty good, honestly. But all these are pretty good.
Yeah, there's none of them are terrible prizes. They're all really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so in our second place key set bracket, you can get JTK Hana base plus novelties and a $100 NovelKeys gift card. That's pretty good.
Pretty damn good. Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
The keyboard bracket will net you the Keywork Nano slider and a Keywork Vent cap, as well as JTK Yolch. So this is some fire, guys.
It's a damn good prize. Yeah.
Yeah, this is some fire.
That's a good mail day. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Nice. And there's a lot of prizes, so I'm not going to name off all of them, but you can obviously go to this link and scroll through and see for yourself. But we got a lot of stuff going on here, man. Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's safe to say that Mech Madness is going to be the big event in March, and we're going to be featuring it each week on the show. We're going to be doing a bit of a talk through of what's happened each bracket and whether there's any surprises, big surprises where something's one that we weren't expecting, or what people have voted for, and all of that kind of good stuff as well. So it's going to be a ton of fun, and we're really looking forward to getting involved in that.
Yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun to cover. I'm pretty hyped for it. I'm trying to get in this cheesy like post game mind show, like where the mindset where I can just like do the show like a sports reporter kind of.
Exactly, that's exactly where I'm.
It's gonna be so much fun, man. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to those shows. It's gonna be really good to feature that on TC. And as well, if you are on our Discord server, we've actually opened up a channel today, or Brian has. He's been setting out the permissions earlier on to discuss Mech Madness and to kind of talk about what you guys are voting for and what's going through the bracket system and all of that kind of good stuff as well. So check that out on the Discord server too.
Yep, and it looks like the prizes will actually pay out through 10th place on both sides of the bracket. So Keyset bracket will pay... the prizes will be 1st through 10th place, and the keyboard bracket will also be 1st through 10th place. So 20 total winners here, actually. So not too bad.
Potentially 21. If
21, yes. Sorry.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious what this perfect bracket is going to get, because like this is what I would have won, because as we all know, I've got a perfect bracket. Yeah, I've definitely got a perfect bracket. So. Good stuff there. Make sure you guys check out March Madness, and you stay tuned. And you follow Dixie Mac on Instagram, and you keep watching Top Clack, and we'll all cover it, and we'll have a good time. And heck yeah,
win some prizes. Yeah. And a big shout out to Talisman Solutions for the 112-bit donation. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. All right, let's move on to our relatively short news doc this week.
Yeah, there's not masses going on.
The last couple weeks have been a little light on the news, but that's okay. We do have some interesting things to talk about regardless.
Yeah. So do you want to talk us through this first one, Brian? I haven't had a chance to look at this properly as yet.
Yeah, I was going to say something, but I decided I needed a sip of water first.
So okay, sorry. Right. Okay,
I'm good. We're good. We're all good here.
Okay, good.
So this is the interest check for the Dimple, which is a 40% layout keyboard. He's got kind of an HHKB-esque kind of thing going on here with these bottom blockers, which always look kind of odd to me on a 40%, but, that's obviously just personal preference. This is a pretty nice-looking keyboard as far as things go. Looks like he doesn't have a lot of renders based on, like, other angles other than just these top-down views, unfortunately, so we don't really know exactly how this is going to look from the side or the bottom or anything, but it looks to be an all aluminum case with no weight. He says that right here. You got your choice of aluminum or brass plates. It's going to be hot swap, and there will be SMD RGB, not underglow, but per switch.
Yeah. There's a couple of things I do like about this. I like that it has the standard stagger. It doesn't alter the stagger layout, which some 40% do and compromise on. And additionally as well, I think this is quite interesting that it's actually got the arrow keys in that hot swap configuration as well. So you've actually got dedicated arrow keys on a 40%, which is quite rare. Most people tend to put them on a layer or have to fiddle around to get the layout quite right. But I think this is kind of interesting to have the arrow keys just there. And I think the way that he's managed to do this is to shorten the blockers. So if you look at the blockers, they're quite narrow. They remind me of the Yas board rather than something like the Pearl, which had nice big HHKB style blockers. So by just shortening those blockers, he's managed to change that bottom row and make it symmetrical, which looks really nice. And I think the layout looks really good on this. I think it's an actually usable 40% for people who are moving to a 40% from, say, a 60.
Yeah, exactly. So people like me that need a friendlier 40% layout, because I am bad with that kind of transition. So this definitely could be helping out there.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of like the name as well, Dimple. It sounds
Yeah,
kind of cute. I kinda like that.
it's
It's good.
yeah, it's endearing if nothing else. Mr.
Yeah.
Petrov donates 500 bits. Wow, thank you very much, man.
Thank you, dude.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
appreciate that.
All right. So yeah, that's the Dimple. There's not really much information aside from what we already told you, so we'll have to kind of wait and see. But he seems pretty confident about this. It'll probably wind up going to the group buy phase, so we'll cover it there. We'll have a lot more information, hopefully, and hopefully some pictures of the side at least. Like,
Yeah,
come
I'd
on,
kind of like to see what it looks like from the side and where
come
the
on.
USB placement is as well, whether it's central or left or right sided. That'd be quite interesting to see as well. But the run of this T Rabbit did the 50, I think, as well. He was behind the 50, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think he says that down here. Yeah, he says, "Meanwhile, I'm working on the round 2 of the 50." So,
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Yeah,
cool.
excellent. Yeah,
So this guy clearly likes his 40% keyboards.
yeah, it's a nice looking board. I really like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll stay tuned for this. And speaking of 40% keyboards, there's another one on the horizon. Here's the interest check for the UD40. And I actually really like this one for a couple reasons. A,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
actually angled. I like that. I like when 40% are actually angled. B, he has
hmm
tons of information here. This actually might as well be a group by thread.
I was going to say it's almost laid out like he's ready to start the group by now,
Yeah.
and this is this is just what he's teasing us with almost as he prepares his final things in the background. But what I most like about this is the design. I think it's really reminiscent of the canoe with the little ledge at the back and the kind of tabbed top part as well. There's no real clear picture of that, but I'd be interested to see if there's a logo or something similar on it.
Yeah,
Um,
you can kind of see it in this picture here, but not really because it's kind of blurs out in the background. One cool thing is, judging by these pictures, this does look like a real prototype.
mhm.
This doesn't really look like a render, which is pretty cool. So maybe he actually has the physical prototype in hand, and he's actually
Yeah, he's
testing
got two
it.
videos where he's typing on them as well, so
Oh
you can
yeah,
see the real one. So he's got both the aluminium and polycarbonate
you don't
ones.
type
Yeah.
on renders? Come on, easy peasy.
New big brain move. Type on renders. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Absolutely. So this is going to be kind of a kit based system here, starting at $235 base, plus
hmm
shipping from Korea. So that's going to run you another $30 to $43 based on where you are in the world, which isn't actually that bad compared to a lot of other custom shipping. But
Yeah.
yeah, either way, the base kit's going to include a DZ40 PCB. That's a PCB from KBD fans, which, as you can
hmm
see, kind of gives you this this Plonk style of layout. It's kind of like a 4x12 grid. You can opt for the 2U spacebar at the bottom middle if you want. I think that used to be called MIT layout, but I think they can't call it that anymore. I don't know what it's called anymore these days. The top portion of the keyboard you can get in aluminum or polycarbonate. If you get it in aluminum,
Yeah.
silver is your only option. There are no color options other than silver. So that's what you get for your aluminum part. Or you can get a polycarbonate top, which is going to be sandblasted. And either way, whichever one you choose there is going to give you a sandblasted polycarbonate bottom as well.
Yes.
Which is going to be a 4-degree angle, by the way, guys. So
Yeah.
pretty straightforward stuff. Not too shabby.
Yeah, one of the things I do like about the polycarbonate version of this board as well is he mentions that he's actually going to put metal threaded inserts there for the screw points as well. So unlike boards like the Singa, where the actual polycarbonate's been threaded for your screws to grab onto, it's actually going to have proper inserts, so there's no risk of de-threading the screw portions of the case. Which that's a nice touch. I think it does make it a
Yeah,
little bit more robust.
yeah, or cracking the polycarbonate itself.
Yeah.
Because that would be bad. So yeah, usually you want those inserts because it just makes for a safer and better experience.
hmm
So pretty cool stuff there. The group buy is expected to start early April, so just a little over a month and a half away or so, roughly. So we'll have to look
Yeah, and
forward to that.
the shipping prices look pretty good as well. I mean, for here to the EU, it's only $38, which is pretty cheap for something like this.
Yeah, the most
About
expensive
£30.
is from Korea to the US, and that's $43, which which isn't too bad. But I guess that makes sense. This is obviously a much smaller, and having the polycarbonate options makes it a much lighter package. So, I mean, obviously the shipping is going to be cheaper than if you're buying, I don't know, like a Duck Orion V3 or, you know, something that's really heavy. So, not totally unexpected there.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll have to wait for this group buy to start. This is actually something I'm kind of looking forward to. I might even try to get one of these.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, some of these pictures, man. Some of these pictures.
Yeah, I just want to see some really clear pictures of that top edge, I think, before I decide either way. That's the thing that's missing from the pictures for me. But they look good. It does look good. I like the design of the board. It's a nice looking shape and design. So, yeah.
Certainly. All right, moving away from keyboards and moving on to key sets. We have another interest check. This one for GMK Eclipse by Tombury. And to be honest, I think this has actually been talked about before. He has had like a much earlier, much more bare interest check, I believe, in the past. But he's kind of given it a bit of a facelift here because it's been a while and a lot of people have been asking about it, I guess. So he wanted to throw up a real interest check to let you guys know that it's coming now, finally.
He's really refined it as well, I think, the set, and even over the past week he's been refining what's in the kits as well. I've struggled to follow all of the news this week due to work commitments, but this is one of the things I've been watching and looking over, and one thing I've noticed is that he's been taking community feedback on really well with this one, and changing the base kits and the sets to try and really target that low price point whilst giving the most functionality he can out of the actual base kit as well. So I know earlier on in the week the numpad was in the base kit. He's now separated that out. He's now added the ISO support after a bit of community feedback. There's now some accents and novelties, although he calls them accents. I'm not sure if that's a typo or if he's actually decided that accents is now the word for this set. But I kind of like this. It reminds me of a dark coloured Shoko. It's like Shoko Knights almost.
That's
kind of how I see it in my head.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, a lot of people have been asking for this for a while, so it's finally coming. Obviously, there's popularity behind it. He does have a pretty interesting base kit breakdown here, like you mentioned. The numpad's not in there, so this feels kind of like a middle ground between what Zombimon is doing with Hamon and what you'd see from a more normal traditional GMK base set. He's trying to kind of form a middle ground here.
But there's still a fair amount of coverage. I mean, you've got TKL, you've got 60%, 65%, HHKB, and ANSI and ISO variants for all of those. So I think there's a fair amount of compatibility in that base kit as well. I think you can even cover some 40% if you're quite clever with the mods that you pick as well. So I think it's a pretty standard, a pretty solid base kit, to be honest.
Yeah. He does say renders will follow in a few days, so we'll have some more legit renders coming soon. Which I'm actually a little surprised that he didn't wait for the renders. I feel like when you're a designer that's done so many successful key sets and you've been around for so long and you're such good friends with people like maybe Zombimon, Oblatsky, all these people that do renders, he might even do himself his own renders. But like I feel like it's kind of odd for someone of his caliber to put up an interest check without actual renders.
Yeah, I think that is quite interesting, and I think he does his own renders now as well, does Tombury. I'm sure I've seen him do some in the past.
Yeah.
Now, Melody just mentioned, interestingly, he just mentioned this in the IC, but I had missed it when I read it, that he actually ran Eclipse previously with a different kind of layout and a slightly different look, but with the same colours, and it didn't make MOQ, so this time he's going to run it on mass drop with these kits, I think, or whatever these kits end up being. But interesting, the colours, the light blue does come from GMK Yuri as well, so he's reusing that colourway and then kind of coming up with a new riff on that as well. So it's quite interesting, which I think is why he's added the orange keys to the novelties kit as well. But I kind of like that orange kit. I think that I'd like to see a picture of like a base kit or a render with the orange keys as accent keys on that base kit. I'm quite interested to see. Because I think it'll look really nice.
Yeah, most definitely. Elliot in chat is asking what's his target price. I don't think he actually has that listed here.
I think he just said he wants to get the price low and have it as cheap as possible for buyers, but it is going to be on mass drop.
I mean,
given it's on mass drop.
Yeah, that's something that everyone's going to say always, because obviously they want things to be cheaper.
Yeah.
Everyone wants things to be cheaper. Everyone always wants a better value. So everyone's kind of just going to say that regardless of what's going on. But yes, if they do cut out a little bit of compatibility that they might otherwise have, so that should bring the price down a little bit. They are going to probably be working with mass drop. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Yep, says it right there even. And that'll get the price even lower because, you know, whether you love them or hate them, they can hit MOQs that most other vendors in the keyboard community cannot. So
yeah. They've just got that reach.
If we had to ballpark, what do you think this at like a 500 MOQ? What do you think this would be?
So it's going to be slightly more than Hamon because it's got more keys in the base kit. So I think we're probably going to be looking somewhere in the $120 kind of ballpark figure is what I'd guess. Somewhere around that, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. All depends on the final key count, but based on the kits as they are there, that's kind of where I'd see it. Maybe a little bit more, maybe pushing 130. But again, as low as the Massdropper have got that kind of buying power to get that price low anyway. They just have such a big reach. So if the colorway is popular, anything's possible with these sets.
Yep, certainly. I was thinking one between 120 and like 135 probably.
Yeah, I'm probably on the low end, hoping for the cheaper price. But yeah, you're right. I think 135 wouldn't be unreasonable for that base kit, given what we've seen from recent sets.
Yep. All right, cool. So we'll have to be on the lookout for that. Hopefully, it's coming soon. TM. Something that isn't coming soon because it's already here is our next topic, which is kind of interesting. We covered this as an interest check, a very controversial interest check, not too long ago. And this is GMK Paperwork by the Van Keyboards. And this is a set we had mixed feelings about, to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's start with the facts. Okay, so it's designed for 40% boards and smaller, so it does cover a few things. It'll cover your planks, it'll cover your JD40s, your JD45s, your Daisy, your Cores, and your minivans as well. So it'll cover all of those kind of boards at 40%. It won't cover anything bigger than that, so it doesn't cover anything up to 60% or higher. So it is kind of limited in where it's going, but that's by design. That's where Evan, who's designed the set, wants it to be, and that's kind of the boards he wants to target. In terms of the price, $100 if you buy from OLKB, $105 if you buy from Van Keyboards, and then there's 2 EU proxies as well, which are My Keyboard and MetBoards, who've got various GBP and Euro prices for the set as well. So it is interesting on the pricing. What do you think that the fact that it's cheaper on OLKB to it is on Van Keyboards?
I don't really understand why. Like I don't really see the reason to have 2 vendors in the same region selling a product like this. It just doesn't really make that much sense to me, especially at different prices. Like what are you accomplishing there by that? I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It does seem a little bit strange. I mean, there might be a reason for it. There may be sales tax in a state or something like that. I don't know how you guys work overseas, to be honest, with that kind of stuff. But it is weird as having 2 EU vendors as well, one in the UK and one in the EU. It kind of feels a bit disjointed. But if the vendors are all comfortable with it, then they're the ones that need to make the decision on that, I guess.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Like we had mentioned before, I think both of us actually like the set in terms of colors. Like it actually is pretty nice. One problem I had, and I'm not really on the page to best display it, but he had a lot of renders for it, a lot of really interesting, like intricate, cool renders, like this one right here, where he's got, highlighters and a cup of coffee and paper clips and multiple keyboards and box art and stuff. So, like he's going through all these lengths to do, renders of GMK sets, but he's not even using GMK Legends.
Yeah, which is really interesting. I've just pasted a link into the chat, Brian, that's got a few more renders on there. But you're absolutely right. I think I don't know if it's just his renders are off on the keycaps or if he's tried creating his own legends and multiple other things, but they just don't. It doesn't feel like we're looking at a GMK set when you look at these renders. It feels like it's something else. I'm not quite sure what, but it just doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like the same quality you get from something like one of Jan's renders or one from a Blocksky or Zamboom or any of the big players in the rendering game. It just feels like it's a, and I say this through gritty teeth, it feels like a poorer effort in terms of the renders for the actual keycaps, but the rest of the renders are really nice. Like that cup of coffee in those pictures looks really good.
Yeah, that's why it's strange. Like the quality of the renders themselves like aren't bad at all. It's odd to give a representation of a key set you're trying to sell without actually using things like the proper legends that would be on those keycaps.
Yeah. The ironic thing is, if you went back 2 years, this would have been far more than we used to get, because we used to just get the GMK kind of renders of the actual base kit, and that was it, and people used to buy that. Yeah. So 2 years ago, this would have been amazing and fantastic, but we've kind of gone up a step in terms of what we expect as buyers in these group buy situations, from renders and from designs and from showing that vision that the group buy runners got. And I kind of feel that the renders on this one just missed the mark a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree there. I mean, what's the whole point of showing a render? To show you how it's going to look on that keyboard, right?
Yeah.
Or how the set should supposedly look in person, ideally. So, like, if you're not doing that, I don't really see the point of renders. But
yeah, it detracts. Yeah, I mean, like here, it's detracting us from talking about the set because we're so distracted by the quality of the renders here, and I suspect that'll be the same for a lot of the community.
That's true, and we already discussed this topic at length when we covered the IC, so we're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about it there. We just want to let you know that the group buy has actually started. So yeah, it's launched. It's not an interest check anymore. It's actually in the group buy phase. And you can get it for $105 at thevankeyboards.com, or you can go over to olkb.com and get it for $100, which is $5 cheaper. Both US-based companies. Not really sure why there's two of them doing this set, but gives you more options.
Yeah, I just looking at it, I think it does work out slightly more expensive if you buy it from OLKB with shipping included. It looks like there's a $2.50 difference in price. The other way once you added shipping. So
the van has free shipping then, is what you're saying?
I think it's $10 from what I saw on the van, but it's I think it's $15 or slightly more on OLKB. Just kind of what I am clicking quickly through the sites here, so apologies if I made a mistake. But it might be broadly the same or slightly more expensive on OLKB once all things are considered, irrespective of the base price of the set.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is that. If you got one of these keyboards that it supports, the minivan or the Plonk or the JD45 and stuff like that, maybe this is totally your thing.
Yeah, or even if you just want the alphas to mix and match with another set, that could be a reason to buy it. Just one interesting thing. What do you think to the price on this, Brian, compared to what we just kind of given as our expectations for GMK Eclipse and what we've seen with the price for Hamon? What do you think to the price for this set?
It's a tricky question, right? Because I always kind of view the value of something like a GMK set based on how many keys that you're going to use. Like, for instance, I pay, I don't know, $140 for a traditional GMK set base kit, and I use 40% of the keys. Because I'll put them on my favorite 60%, and I'll put the rest in a bag and throw it in the drawer. And now, the majority of the keycaps that I bought, I'm not even using. So, like, I think the price is fine if you're really into the colorway and you have to use it on one of these boards. But like you're using the majority of the keys that you're actually getting in the set, versus buying. Because I mean, let's say that let's just give an example. So let's say you have a minivan, and you want a GMK key set for it. You can spend $105 on this, and it'll totally cover your minivan, and you'll have very, very little waste. So that's $105, or you could spend 120 or 140 or 180 or whatever on a much more compatibility rich GMK set, but you're going to be putting it on your minivan anyways. So do you spend $105 to cover your minivan, or do you spend $140 to $180 to cover your minivan?
Yeah, no, I think that's completely fair.
So it's there's multiple arguments there. Obviously, per price per cap, this is terrible compared to most other GMK sets.
Yeah.
But
and I guess
there are use case scenarios where this could definitely be a better value for someone than alternatives.
Yeah, if you are a 40% user and you because you can't use the set on anything else, so it's difficult to compare it with. But yeah, if you're 40% user, I completely agree with your arguments there. I think if you do look at it at the price per cap, it does seem like it's more expensive than it should be. Based on just the sheer volume of plastic you're actually paying for and buying, and the amount of work that's going into the set at GMK in terms of their production and everything else, it does feel like it's on the high side from that. But I completely understand that if you are a 40% user and you like this colorway and you've got one of the boards that this supports, this is absolutely, in terms of wasted potential of the set, in terms of what you'd have left in a bag stuck in a drawer. Yeah, I completely agree with your point there.
Yeah. And that's just, I mean, obviously I deal with it, but that's one of the things that bugs me a lot is the fact that I throw the majority of my GMK sets just in a bag, in a drawer, and they never see the light of day again. And it does feel kind of like a waste to me, just kind of, which is why I do think that having more limited sets that are more specific to, you know, certain things, and maybe just having separate kits and stuff can often be a better idea for a lot of people than just buying one massive set of GMK or something and, you know, not using 75% of the caps.
Yeah, sure. No, I get that completely. I think one of the interesting comparisons for me of this, I saw someone make on our Top Clack Discord server, was the cost of this versus the cost of the GMK Calm Depth Space Kit. There was a $20 difference in terms of the price, but you literally got more than twice the number of keys in the GMK Calm Depth group buy. So it is interesting how you look at it, especially if you're going to use multiple boards and potentially swap between different size boards. So it's an interesting topic, but it's going to be interesting over the next couple of years to see how those kits break down and what gets left behind and what doesn't, and what makes it into the base kit of the future. As we move forward through the hobby, I think things are being challenged and things are being changed right now for the right reasons. And I for one am really interested to see how that moves across. Like we've seen with the latest habit of splitting out the numpad from the base kit. I think that's probably a good move. But then how do we make sure that our child kits are going to hit MOQ most of the time for most of the sets to make sure that people can get the coverage they need?
Yeah, the community's in kind of a weird place right now where we're like, we're not big enough to be able to hit the MOQs of all those child kits, like to actually help all the people that need it. But we're like, we're not small enough to not break it off like that. So we're in this really odd period in the community, I think, right now.
I think one of the challenges for me is I think it's absolutely right to split things like numpad out of the base kits, and I get the reasons for, even though I'm an ISO user, I get the reasons for moving ISO out of the base kit and things like that. I guess one of the challenges we've got as a community and for our kit designers, so the Zamboomans, the Evans, the Blockskis of the world, is how do we make sure that we're making those child kits compelling enough to buy for other users? Do you start to put different things together, like Jan's done with GMK Minimal? Do you put ISO and the numpad together so that each user for both use cases is bolstering each other? So the ISO users are bolstering the numpad users, and the numpad users are bolstering the ISO users. Do we need to start thinking about bundling things together in the child kits, and if we're changing the way we do the base kits, changing the way we do the child kits as well?
Yeah, and I like I just said, I think we're kind of in a testing period right now, almost, where, you know, people like Zambooman and Younglad are you know, doing Hemon and Minimal respectively, and you know, they're kind of just testing like what could work, and I think both of them seem to be pretty successful so far. I think Younglad's idea of the ISO plus numpad kit is actually pretty clever.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and like it's
I suggested that to Zambooman on a Blotsky about 6 months ago on Discord, and they were considering it then. And I'm glad to see that Jan's picked it up and has run with it. It's good to see that. I'm kind of a fan of that, because it still gives me a fighting chance of being able to get some of the kits that I want to be able to get, rather than looking at something. If you look at, for example, how ISO is done in the Hamon group buy, it's not done amazingly well. I think it's at 21 or 22 kits now, so it's nowhere near MOQ, which is 100 kits. He's probably not the right set to compare against because it's kind of it was a colorway born from a meme, and it's on Mastrop, which isn't particularly popular in the EU because of additional costs and things like that. So it's not probably the best set to use an ISO example of, but it is kind of showing that general trend. Which I agree with. So I do want to see how Minimal turns out. I do want to see what the take up for that secondary kit is. And one of the other things as well that a couple of people have been talking about on Discord servers in the UK is sharing a kit. So buying the secondary kit from Minimal. So you're getting someone's getting the numpad and someone's getting the ISO keys and splitting the cost between the two respectively. So it's still making the MOQ, but people are kind of sharing the cost of the keys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we'll have to see. It's still kind of early to tell, but I think it's good that people are testing it. People are kind of playing around with different ideas, and hopefully in the coming months and maybe over the next year, we'll kind of see what works better as we move forward a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Pilot XJ donates 100 bits. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that.
Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Yeah.
And Pinkroy commenting that we're saying Hamon wrong. I guess I don't know.
It's in the word have and hard. Well, I pronounce the A is the same in both of those words, so that might be my particular accent. So apologies.
Yeah. No. I mean, in the English language, I feel like have and hard are the same type of A. I don't. How else would you say it? Hamon? It's Hamon, right?
Yeah. Hamon. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, apologies if we were offending anyone.
Yeah, sorry.
It's probably our accents more than anything else. But at least you all know what we're talking about.
Anyways, there we go. Back to the topic at hand. Sorry for trailing off a little bit there. GMK Paperwork, if you're into it, here it is, $105 or $100 if you buy from vankeyboards.com or olkb.com, respectively.
Yep.
So there you go. Moving on, we have an interesting new store that kind of opened up here, and it really surprised a lot of people in the community for a couple of reasons.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting to see that this has happened after such a long time, to be honest. I would have kind of expected this sooner or a while ago, or to not happen at all. But I'm glad that this has happened. So what we've seen is that Percent Studios have opened up their own web store. They've got a number of products on the site already for you to take a look at. Among them, the most famous of their boards so far, the Canoe. It's kind of a front-based store for their recent, for their current group buy for the Canoes, which I think is probably 6 group buys in now, if you count all of the Chinese group buys and all of the other bits and pieces as well, including the final edition group buy, which was the last one. So this is the non-final edition Canoe after the final edition Canoe.
Yeah, which is pretty interesting because in the group buy, I think it was somewhere around $350 or more for a base kit, and here we have it marked down to $300 for a kit, which a lot of people were kind of skeptical about. I remember several people in the Discord were like, "Is this even real? Like, is this actually percent?" And it seems like it. Obviously, we don't have 100% confirmation, but it definitely seems like percent. Yeah.
No, it is. So I've reached out to the contact support. It is the guys. They've now got a Discord server as well, which Old Cat is running. So I don't know if you guys know Old Cat, but he helps out with a lot of the Chinese group buys. So he's friends with Alf and a few other people as well. But yes, they have a Discord server as well. So yeah, it is legitimate. It's there, and the Canoes are $299, I think, if I remember rightly. So
yeah, pretty interesting. It is worth noting that this sale ends in about 1 day. They have a little countdown timer here.
I was talking to Old Cat about this on the Discord server, and apparently it was only supposed to be opened up for 30 sales, but people found the site before they'd finished updating the site, and I think there was over 100 sales before they realised, and it was supposed to be either 30 sales or end in 3 days, whichever came first. But now they're just going to leave it open and do as many as they sell, is the current plan.
Which makes sense, because if you guys ever pay attention to the aftermarket, Canoes have been expensive. Between like $500 and $700 US aftermarket on these, which is a really hard markup on these. So to be able to get back and get them for like $300 could be a good idea.
It's interesting to note as well that these are new colorways as well. So the classic one has been run before, but Siren, Ocean, and Yellow are 3 new colorways. Now, I don't know if you've looked at the Ocean one, Brian, but I'm thinking
Mizu?
There might be a certain yeah, there might be a certain set that would look really good on that.
Yeah, Ocean. When I first saw this when I was looking through them, Ocean immediately popped out to me, and it was automatically my favorite. I think there are lots of sets that can work well on here, but I think Mizu, upcoming GMK Mizu, would certainly be one of them.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. Also, free shipping worldwide included in that $300 price.
Yeah, which is unbelievable. When you
that is crazy. That is crazy.
For a canoe shipped to your door. Now, it is worthwhile calling out that this is a group buy. They're expecting to ship these in April. They're hoping to finish them by April the 15th. Although, given the constraints on the number of boards they're actually going to be producing now, that might change and might delay a little bit. Do you know what I'm tempted to do? I'm tempted. So I've already got a couple of canoes, but I'm tempted to pick up another one and just hit that random color just to see what I get. Because I think that's a really fun option for $300. Just random color canoe.
I want to be cool like you, and I could just slap down $300 and be like, whatever.
I'm not saying I'm definitely going to do it, but I'm tempted to. I am tempted to do it.
I wonder how many people actually opted for that, if anyone.
I don't know. I'll reach out to Old Cat after the show and I'll ask him. And if anyone wants to know the answer to that, I'll put it up on the Discord.
Yeah. How about this? You ask him, and if nobody has done it, you got to do it.
All right. Okay. Fine. Yeah. If no one else has done it, I will be the one that does it. Fine. Okay,
all right. Cool. Good stuff. So just like in the group buy, I think this will come with pretty much everything you need as far as the kit goes. It'll have your box, your cover, wait, what? There's 2 covers: keyboard lower cover and keyboard cover.
The covers aren't covers. It just means top case and bottom case. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just
so translation there. Okay. So as well as your switch plate, your positioning plate, your PCB diffuser, your aluminum alloy weight, which is, as we all know, not really a weight; it's an accent at that point. It's not adding anything.
It is, yeah.
If anything, you lose weight because of all the milling that they have to do to get the accent in there.
Yeah.
Of course, your mounting hardware and some stickers, and the PCB will be mini USB. So we're not jumping to the future on USB-C on this one, unfortunately.
Yeah, a couple of questions that I've seen in chat on these as well. First one, have they fixed the plate? I've asked that question, I haven't had an answer back on it. So for anyone who's used a canoe, there is an issue on the spacebar stabilizer. It does catch on the return of the key after you pressed it. It does catch on the plate. A lot of people used to put tape underneath the edge of the plate to kind of cover that, just kind of put it under. So when it came up, it slaps against the tape, or they Dremel it away and things like that. So I have asked if that's been fixed. I haven't had an answer as yet. And there was another question as well, I think. Oh, the PCBs. So Old Cat has said that the PCBs have been reworked and these are a slightly newer design. So they might not have the problems that the previous ones had, which would be good.
Yeah, that would be great, because the percent PCBs have kind of been like a very negative thing in the past. A lot of people really not a fan of them for various reasons. Yeah. So hopefully if they can kind of get those up to at least some kind of normalcy, and maybe we get them in the QMK configurator or something, like something easy and accessible. That's very ideal.
The existing ones are QMK compatible. Both my canoes are on QMK right now, so yeah, you can do that. I assume that will be able to be carried forward to the new PCBs, and they won't have too many changes to them. The only thing that is missing from this page is what layout support is available on these PCBs and plates, because it has changed in various rounds of Canoe previously. So round 1 was ANSI only, round 1.5 and 2 were universal, but then both the Chinese group buys since then have only been ANSI. So it doesn't say what is available on these particular ones. So I'm interested to see that as well, but I haven't seen anyone.
Yeah, maybe we can reach out and ask them and see if we can get kind of an update on this page before it ends, to see if they can update that on the layouts. That'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know anything else. As far as I know, no canoes ever supported split backspace or split spacebar. I think the only choice you've had previously is, as I say, either ANSI or ISO, and then stepped or full caps lock, and everything else has been standard.
Not even split backspace, really?
I don't think so. I've only built one of mine, but as far as I recall, none of them have ever had split
Well,
backspace.
if you want to just send the other one to me, I can build it. No problem.
Well, I need my own build string concept. Well, maybe we do. Maybe we will do that. Maybe I'll send it to you. And you can build it for me.
Why do you even have two canoes, man? What is wrong with you?
I have no idea. I don't know, man. I don't know.
You're a monster.
Anyway, I wanted to talk about some other stuff on this site as well and get your opinion on some other stuff as well.
Yeah, sure.
We focus on the canoe.
Yeah.
So in terms of other products, they've also got the Maze, which we saw as a group buy on Mass Drop. I think was that January, late December, early January.
It was pretty recently. On Mass Drop last month.
Yeah. So the price is the same here. The colorways are the same. There is no shipping date when you look at this, and I haven't tried adding one to basket or anything like that. But it does look like this is going to be shipping when the Mass Drop group buy ships, because it's all the same details. But it doesn't actually mention anywhere, as far as I could see earlier on, unless the page has been updated.
Yeah. It's probably all from the same batch.
Yeah, because I wanted to get one of these when it was on Mass Drop, and I didn't in the end. I missed it for whatever reason. So I am tempted to look at this again. But I won't be buying both this and a canoe. It's one or the other.
You're not going to be buying 3 of these or something?
No.
Fortunately, they have some great colorways on here. I like the ocean. I think that's a great combo there, personally.
Yeah, I think if I was going to pick one, it'd be the Jasper.
Yeah. I think all of them look pretty good, honestly. The Rose and the Jasper as well.
Was the Rose one on Mass Drop? Because I don't remember it being on Mass Drop.
I do not remember the colorways that were on Mass Drop, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't remember it being on there, if I'm honest. So I think that might be new. But if I'm wrong, someone please correct me. But I think that might be new. I don't recall it.
Yeah, they also have the Booster. Which is kind of their numpad, apparently. I actually haven't seen one of these before. I don't know if this is brand new or not.
It was teased on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and then this is the first time we've seen an actual render of one in full. So instead of just seeing a portion of it, this is the first time we've seen it in full, to my knowledge.
Okay. This is quite interesting.
I'm
trying to see what it says on this weight down here at the bottom. I'm trying to get it a little bit better on camera, but it says it says designed for Canoe 65 extend hashtag 20%.
Okay, interesting.
Which is an interest. I don't know that maybe that's just a translation issue there, but that's a funny thing to put on a weight. Sorry.
It is, yeah. There's a couple of things that there's a couple of things I like and a couple of things that kind of bother me a little bit with this. The first thing is that the booster font on the front of the case is different to the Canoe font on the Canoe. The second thing that bothers me is it mentions that on that weight, as you read out there, that it's for the Canoe 65. But if you look at the weight on the bottom of the Canoe, it actually says %60. It doesn't say 65 on the bottom of the Canoe, even though it is a 65% board. It actually says 60 on there. So there is some inconsistencies between the two. But the things I do like is I like the fact that it's an exact mirror for the tab that you see at the top of the Canoe board. So you've got that nice tab shape, and that kind of replicates at the other side. So it kind of flows nice and neatly. The height's the same. The base design's the same in terms of the little grips at the side. And I think it looks kind of smart. So there's a lot of things to like about this.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely looks good. Just maybe change some of this English text. Extend isn't a word.
Yeah.
And why is there a hashtag before 20%? I don't know. I don't know. I love the way this looks, but this is confusing me a little bit.
Yeah.
But
it's also worth calling out as well that in the renders there's colorways that aren't able to buy. So there's the black on black one, and there's the I think there's a red one as well. Whereas in terms of the ones that you can pick up, you can get ocean, yellow, Dolce, classic, and snow. But the yellow doesn't match up with the yellow Canoe that you can buy because it's got a black base to it on this, whereas it's a grey base on the Canoe. So it's interesting that they don't quite match each other.
Yeah. Anyways, we've been on this topic for way too long.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
We're really bad at doing this today. We're just trailing so much. Anyways, the %.studio is open now, guys, and you can at least at the moment you can pick up the booster for the canoe. You can pick up the canoe, and you can pick up the maze. All for group buy pricing or lower. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it looks like these are all shipping around May time as well. Sorry, April time as well. So, yeah.
So probably May or June.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. We're starting to come to a close on our news doc here, guys. Sorry for trailing, but this is a quick little topic that some of you out there might be interested in. This is an interest check for Singa fixed plates. So if you already have a Singa and you want a fixed plate instead of a universal one, maybe you want a different material, because I think brass was like the only thing offered.
It was, yeah.
So, you know, maybe you get a little bit more options here. So you can vote and fill out this little IC form on this page. And we can check this out a little bit. So there's two options, a wing keyless or wing key option, as you can see here, depending on what kind of layout you want. And either way, you get a normal 1.5 millimeter thickness, which is the standard for MX switch plates. And then you have a couple different options as far as materials go. You have carbon fiber, FR4, which is kind of the PCB material that usually you feel, polycarbonate, and potentially palm, which is pretty interesting. We don't really see palm plates almost ever, honestly. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, one thing I can say for this is that 159 or 159 that's running this, who is probably watching, so hey man, if you are, the carbon fiber plate. So 159 and I were in a recent private group buy to test a carbon fiber manufacturer for plates, and the product came out really, really, really well. So I got 4 or 5 different plates for various different boards, including the JO1 and the Unicorn and a few of the bits and pieces. But the plates came out really, really well. So I can speak and vouch for the quality of the carbon fiber manufacturer that 159 is looking at. And it's a really interesting material as well for a PCB, for a plate. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so I don't have a Singa, so this doesn't actually apply to me, but if you do, here you go. Here's your chance to get something that isn't brass, which I would totally do, because I might be the only person in the community that thinks brass is like the most overrated plate material.
It's all about the copper for me.
Yeah, I haven't tried copper yet, but yeah, brass, it's all right. It just doesn't really do it for me. I'm much more of a non-metal plate kind of guy. I like the acrylics, the polycarbonates, I'd probably love palm, carbon fiber, stuff like that. I like the flexier non-metal materials personally. Jay's flashing black and white again. Yeah, I think it's
been doing it on and off.
It's a Jitsi issue right now, which is the app that we're using right now for video. Unfortunately, that'll hopefully be fixed next week, guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we'll fix that for next week, guys. We've got a new bit of software to try them. Yeah, so I really like carbon fiber plates, but not for the flex. It's for the sound. I just think they have such a unique sound profile to them, and they transform any board that you put them in. So I really, really like carbon fiber as a plate material.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. So, yep, fill this out if you're interested in that, and maybe you can get yourself a nice replacement plate for that Singa that you got.
Yeah, go show 159 some love.
Yeah. All right, time for the last topic of our news doc today. I know we're a little bit behind schedule, guys, but we'll pick it up a little bit. So tell us what the heck these are.
So these are keyboard covers. So if you click on the photo album, Brian, there's some images of these. Effectively, what they are is they're clear plastic acrylic covers designed to sit on top of your board to cover up your keycaps, and they're designed for certain boards to fit the exact parameters of a board, and it just kind of neatly encapsulates your board, protects it from dust, or maybe as a display case to keep your keycaps looking nice and stuff like that. There's a couple of different variants. You can get them in clear acrylic, or you can get them in smoked acrylic. Smoked plastic seems to be all the rage at the minute with the T1 switches and the ink switches, and now with these covers. So there's a couple of different pictures of these on different boards, and it's all about whether you want to just have something to protect your keys or not. Could be good for taking to meetups, to pop them on your board to protect them from greasy fingers, if that's kind of your worry. So that's what they are. It's a Con USA only group buy. They are shipped for $55 each. They support a variety of different boards. So there's a couple of Real Force boards, a couple of HHKBs, Leopold, Ampros, TCV3. There's quite a few different boards. If you've got one of those boards, you want to be able to protect your keycaps while they're on there, or use it as a dust cover when you're not at home, or whatever. There's potentially many different use cases for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty specific product, but if there are certainly people out there that really like this kind of thing and definitely can benefit from them.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the price for a second. $55 shipped in the U.S. So obviously I assume this guy's from the U.S. and he's shipping within the U.S.
Yeah, so these are actually a Korean-made product. So this already exists as part of the Korean community, and I think rather than him doing these products himself, he's just facilitating a whole batch of these getting over to the US. I think he's going to try and do 20 of them, but get a whole group of them over to the US and have people be able to access them a little bit easier than ordering from Korea directly.
Yep. All right. Cool stuff. Yeah, $55 seems. Does that seem a little expensive to you, or does that seem accurate?
I think if you consider that they're coming from Korea in the first place, I think it's pretty fair, because that is shipped in the US as well. So you've got to remember it includes shipping. So if you say these are quite bulky items for some of the bigger boards, so that's probably going to be $10. So
yeah,
$45 for a $30 product shipping from Korea. I think it's broadly fair. It's probably touching the high side of what I personally want to pay. But it's broadly okay, I think.
Gotcha. Yep. So he actually does have this limited for the continental U.S. only. So
yes.
Just keep that in mind, guys. So yeah, make sure to grab one of these if you're into it. 20 seems pretty limited though. Or he might have sold out already. Even this was a few
No, I
days
think
ago.
he's got a few left. When I checked earlier on, he had 7 pieces left. So, oh no, so 7 slots are filled. So he's got a few available left to go. So he's got 13 slots available.
All right. Well, there you go. Make sure to get in on this if this is your kind of thing.
Yeah, just before we finish and move into the next section, Brian, Jan Farley has actually posted a link, and this is something I meant to put on the news doc, and I forgot to put on there. But I thought it was quite funny from Scully at Clueboard. I don't know if you can see that link.
Yep, I'm already on
it. So this is something I was going to put on the news doc and completely forgot. But this is the traditional annual Clueboard. April Fool's kind of product. So last year they had the Dual 1800, and this year we have the AF60 PCB, which is kind of a reversed layout. 60% is a mirror image, 60%. Yeah. So it's completely mirrored. So instead of going QWERTY across left to right, it actually goes QWERTY right to left. So it is completely 100% mirror flipped as a PCB. And I just thought it was quite interesting.
Okay. That is certainly something. I am sure he'll sell a couple of these.
Well, he sold quite a lot of the Dual 1800s last year, so
that's a usable product.
This is okay.
Oh, look, okay, I like Scully. He's a friend, but this is a silly product. Like, you don't buy this to use it, all right? You buy this because it's funny to look at.
You buy this to put it on your desk at work and then ask someone else to go and use your computer. That's what you do.
Yeah, this is. Oh boy, this is something.
Yeah.
Gio is actually saying that someone mentioned that you can reverse it to normal.
So what that is you can remap it. So on a layer, it actually has the keys in the right places, but your stagger's still all messed up and things like that. But yeah, you can have it so that the board is usable the correct way around, but it just messes the stagger up a little bit.
I really like some of the way he talks in some of this though. The 60% you never wanted. Looking for a way to prank your coworkers come April Fool's Day? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is this is funny. Yeah. Good stuff.
It's a good
I
name.
I am
I approve.
I am extremely interested in seeing how many of these actually sell. Because
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
there's some good price breaks as well. It gets
yeah,
quite cheap if
at
it.
150 plus at $32, that's actually pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
This is silly. Anyways, the orders, the group buy will be open until the 25th of this month, so you got about 4 days left to get in on this. That's cool. You can commit to a specific price tier. That's cool.
Yeah, I think Scully does that a lot on his orders now.
I never really
You
noticed
can
that.
commit to
That's actually
yeah.
a really neat feature.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of that around the community, if I'm being honest. All right, cool. So there you go. If you're looking for your April Fool's Day joke this year, then maybe this could be it.
Yeah, so thank you again to Jan Fally for reminding me of that. I completely forgot to add it on, so thank you for that.
Yeah, somehow I missed it. Like going through everywhere, it's, yeah, not really sure how. Anyways, speaking of things I don't miss because they're already here because we love them, it's our first sponsor, NovelKeys.xyz. It's got all sorts of things in stock as usual, including GMK Bento, which you can see here, still in group by phase. We got the Keywork Nano Bento Edition also, which is this pretty nice little macro pad-esque thing with this adorable little slider and these awesome novelties from Bento, as well as tons and tons and tons of desk mats as usual, lots of Kale switches as usual. Oh, the linear group buy is over. Whoops, never mind.
Yeah, it's finished. Yeah.
But yeah, still lots of great things. The H87A PCB still up for grabs, and as well as the newer stuff like the Kale Box Pinks, the Glow in the Dark Gatorons, I think still around here. And
Yep.
are the inks sold out?
Yeah, the ink sold out really quickly. They sold out within about 2
Oh.
or 3 hours, I think. So I don't think Mike had a massive stock of them, but he is getting more, guys. He is getting more, and I thoroughly recommend those switches. They are really nice.
Yeah, I'm breaking mine in my M60 right now, and they are good.
Yeah.
They are, as far as Gateron switches go, I couldn't believe how stable they are. Like they actually feel like a really really stable switch. Very very smooth as well, and they look pretty nice. So yeah, definitely get in on some of those once he restocks, as well as the NovelKeys creams actually are still pretty new as well, so you can get in on those. And
yeah, and if you do buy the creams, remember to sniff the bag because we all know they smell wonderful.
Yeah, they feel good, but man, they smell very odd until you air them out. I put mine by a window for like a day, and they were fine. But
Cool. Yeah.
but before that, whoo-wee. They were something. Regardless, whether you're whatever you're buying here on NovelKeys, make sure you use the promo code Clack, and that'll get you 5% off your total order. That's the top Clack code for this month, so make sure you use that and save yourself a few buckaroos.
Absolutely. Okay. Moving on then, guys, we've now got if I'm tripping over my own tongue today, we've got zFrontier. Exactly. Yeah.
Remix. Go ahead. I just wanted to do that.
Yeah, I can't beatbox, so I'm not even going to try. Yeah, so we've got zFrontier or zFrontier, depending on how you want to pronounce it. But these guys have got a ton of good stuff up for you at the moment. So one of the big things is the Aurora 96, which is available at the moment. So if you like a 96 key layout, this is a really good option for you guys to have a look at. I kind of like this personally. It looks really nice. So yeah, have a look at that. We've also got the Morgri 60% wireless board that we've talked about previously on the show. So this is a really interesting board with a very interesting name that Brian and I stumble over each week. So you can pre-order this. It's shipping soon. It's very cheap at $115. So take a look at that if you want, guys, and also the additional numpad and switch tester that can come with it. And as well as everything else they've got on there, all of the other group buys, I think you can still get the JTK triple shots as well. I think they're still available.
Yeah, when I looked earlier, they were still up.
Yeah, which is surprising. They've been up for quite a while now. So if you do want to try out some triple shots, this is the only manufacturer on the market that's doing it is JTK, and this is the only group buying for them so far. So do check those out, guys.
Yep, absolutely. Next up, we got Kono.store, where you can find all sorts of things from our sponsor Input Club, including the Kira keyboard, which has been kind of highly anticipated, and now they're actually shipping those out, and you can even get some of the ones in stock. Pretty awesome stuff. You can get in the standard plastic frame or the metal frame, lots of different switch options. It's got your cherry PBT keycaps. It's got your SMD RGB, your hot swap. You know, all the cool things that you'd expect from a newer keyboard like this. Pretty good stuff to see. We also have the Ergodox Infinity, which is back after a little while and looking pretty darn nice if that's your thing. I've actually been meaning to give one of these a try, because I feel like I could totally do an Ergodox layout if I really set my mind to it.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see it. You should definitely do it.
Yeah. Also, they still have the pre-order open for the Gemini Dusk and Gemini Dawn, which I like to call them the K-type killers, because you get a lot for your money at 140 bucks. You get hot swap, SMD RGB, PBT keycaps, metal frame, dual USB Type C, full programmability, all the works. Pretty darn good stuff there. So yeah, make sure to check out all of that stuff as well.
Excellent. Okay, and moving on to our final sponsor, who is in the chat and has just donated 20,000 bits to the Top Clack cause, Zeal PC. So thank you very much for those bits. Zeal, you have quite literally smashed back into first place on the bits counter, broken the 50k bits barrier, got a special badge and all of that. So Talisman, sorry man, but you are now back in second place. That's a massive amount of bits. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Crazy.
And he says, "Ye Team Orange." So thank you very much for that, dude. But we are here to talk about Zeal PC as well. So Zeal is one of our sponsors and has got some fantastic products for you available on his site. Sadly, you have missed the Xeno group buy and the pink silent linear switches as well. But there are plenty of other products that you can pick up today. So if you do want a silent linear, you can pick up the orange Helio switches. So check those out. I've got those in my Zephyr build. They are incredibly silent and very smooth as well. But if tactile is more your feel and you want something a little bit more tactile to get your Felios from, then do check out the new V2 Zelio switches in a variety of different ways. They are really, really good, and they also come in a silent variant as well. So if you want your Felios with some silence, you can pick up the silent tactiles as well. As don't forget about all these other products as well. He's also got stabilizers. I think did we say that the Zeal 65 PCB is in stock, Brian, after you got one, or was it
just it's you're able to add it to cart, so I imagine it's in stock. Yeah, I have one.
65.
I have one here.
Yeah, so 65 and 60 are in stock at the moment, it appears. Zeal, correct us if we're wrong. So if you do need a PCB for anything as well, do check those out with Perky, RGB, and all of those other good features as well, guys.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that if you did miss the pink Roselio or Securio group buy and you did still want to get in on that, it's actually on mass drop right now. So
yeah, I was going to mention that. Yeah,
you can still get your Zeal goodness, just through mass drop right now for a limited time. So make sure you check that out if you missed this group buy and you still wanted to get those. And of course, if you want to support Top Clack while you're buying your Zeal products, you can go to zealpc.net/TopClack. It's an affiliate link. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but it'll give us a small kickback when you do purchase anything from zealpc.net. So.
Yeah, and it really does help the channel and really help us grow Top Clack as well, guys. So if you do want to help us out, feel free to use that, but it's totally your choice. No pressure either way.
Yep, absolutely. So heck yeah, make sure you get in on that stuff. And yes, Zeal, thanks again for those 20k bits. Holy crap, that is massive.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, 20,000 bits.
That is insane. That is
wow,
absolutely insane. All right, so now let's not try to waste too much time here. Let's jump into our guest segment. I think he's been waiting long enough, so I'm gonna roll over here. I'm gonna hopefully get him to undeafen himself on Discord. We're gonna roll over here. Maybe he can turn his camera back on, and we will be good. All right, this is looking pretty good so far.
It's looking good. It's
All
looking
right,
good.
things are going well. All right.
Yay!
Oh yeah,
So as you can see, we have Maarten on the stream today. Maarten, how are you doing today?
I am fine, thank you.
Awesome. So just for the people out there that might not know who you are, can you give us a little info on who you are and what you do in this community?
I'm Martin. I'm kind of not new to this community. Since 2016, I've joined, and I mainly design PCBs and plates.
Excellent, excellent. So how did you get into the hobby, Martin? What drove you to get into the mechanical keyboard hobby?
What drove me into it was a shitty membrane rubber dome keyboard.
I think we've all been there.
Probably pretty familiar to both of you.
Yes.
Mine had a broken spacebar. Used super glue to glue it together.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was looking for something better, and through I think some kind of Dutch community, I joined the mechanical keyboard side of that, and I went to this meetup in Eindhoven
Okay.
in March of 2016, and that's where I discovered Gathering Yellows, which I really liked.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Then I got myself a Tada 68, which I immediately desoldered and swapped the switches in. So that was great, and then I did some lubing, whatever. Then I got into designing PCBs because I wanted to try split backspace, yeah.
Okay. 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 And how did you get into designing PCBs? What was the kind of learning experience for that? Because I imagine for a lot of our viewers, for me certainly, PCBs are kind of like a black hole. I mean, for those of you that know, Maarten does all my PCB design work, so I wouldn't know even where to start. So how did you get into it?
Well, there's this guide by, what's it called? Rukumai, I don't know how to pronounce it. I started there.
Rookie man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I started. So I downloaded Keycap, downloaded the libraries, ended up making my own libraries because I didn't like the ones used in that guide. Yeah. Then I mainly looked at other PCBs, how they did it.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. And you've had a couple of products up recently. I know you've run the Plane 60C group buy. What was your thoughts
Yes.
behind that product? Because it was kind of different to anything else we've got on the market at the minute. It was kind of a really bare bones piece of kit, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's very true. The Plane 60C is mainly designed for me personally because I had a Tofu, still have it. Tofu 60% with an integrated plate, which came with this hot swap PCB, and I don't like hot swap honestly. And this integrated plate didn't really sound good, so I decided, okay, I'll Dremel it, which you may have seen or may have not seen. It's up on my YouTube channel. And then I built it, and I pressed on the spacebar, and yeah, the switch kind of got pushed out of the socket.
Right. Okay.
As
Okay.
well, it's not swappable. So I went like, okay, I'll just design a simple PCB for it that will support a few layouts, still be usable. And that's where it came from.
Okay, cool. So is there anything else mechanical engineering wise you're interested in, or is it just kind of PCBs and keyboard paraphernalia?
Not really, no. I'm still in school, high school, so I'm not doing much else really.
Fair enough, fair enough. I hear it was your birthday recently as well. Didn't you just turn 18?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
It's
happy
been
birthday.
great.
Can we get a happy birthday in chat for Maarten, guys? That'd be
Thank you.
Very nice.
Get some happy birthday pictures in there. Yeah. So I guess what's the future then, Maarten? I know you've just set up a new store. We talked about it previously on the show when we had the Plane 60C group buy going on. So you've now got a new website that you're setting up with all sorts of different services and propositions. What have you got coming? What's in the pipeline?
Good question. Well, I've been doing kind of small rounds recently. So the plane 60C is part of that. After that, the plane 60B, which is the same thing but with mini USB.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, there are some other things in the works. A GH80 1800, that's 1800 replacement PCB.
Cool.
Also, the Solheim 68, that's a VA60M replacement PCB, and the Atom 47 revision 4, so that's kind of round 2, is coming as well, and lots of other things. Yeah.
I hear you're working with 159 as well.
Yeah, that's true. I'm working with him on a Alice replacement PCB. He's doing a case with someone else too, and plates too. So it's kind of a package deal, so to say. So you're getting a plate, case, and PCB. The PCB is designed by me.
Excellent, excellent. So I know you've also done the PCB for the JR1, which is my board as well, which hopefully I'll be building on stream soon if everything goes to plan. So do you kind of see yourself becoming more of a PCB designer, taking up kind of the mantle from some of the bigger names like Heine and Wilbur and things like that, or do you kind of want to keep it small? What's your anticipations for the future on
that? For now, I want to keep it small. I'm not really gonna do a lot of big group buys like the other people might do. Mainly because I've got other things to do, such as school or whatever. So yeah, I'm keeping it small to about 20 pieces per round.
Okay, cool. I can understand that. Yeah, I think if you've got school, that's definitely got to be priority. I also hear that you might have some interest from WASD around some of your controller boards as well. What's happening in that space?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I got this Reddit message about 1 or 2 days ago, which said that they're interested in working something out with me. I'm not sure what they meant, but we'll see.
Because you've got these little controller boards, haven't you, for them? What do they do?
Yeah, the WASDAT, and maybe the WASDAT code. They're essentially like the replacement controllers you've seen from B Epiphany. So what they do is they kind of hijack the matrix and use QMK. Yeah.
Okay, so they make the board so you can customize them rather than use a stock option.
Yeah, they have 2 PCBs. It's the main PCB with the switches on it and the diodes, and then they have a header on it, which has a controller board plugged into it. So it's a replacement for that controller board.
Okay. It's interesting that a big company like WSD have reached out to you, though. They've seen your kind of niche product and they're interested in it. That's really good. So congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
All right. Just a quick shout out to Mountain Blocks for the 500-bit donation and 159 for the 1,000-bit donation. He also says happy birthday. So,
there's quite a few happy birthday messages as well.
It got spammed. It was good stuff. Thank you very much, guys. We appreciate that. I actually have a quick question for you. As far as PCB design goes, I mean, there aren't really a ton of people that do it in the community. Is it something that's pretty difficult to get into? And if so, like, what are the hardest parts of the design process as far as PCB goes?
Okay, so the hardest part I would say is really routing. But it's not hard if you get the hang of it. Okay. So you have to kind of plan your pin out. You have to put your mainly your microcontroller in the right place. So you've got 2 options with normal PCBs. You've got you can put it either between switches angled, or you can put it under the spacebar where it's nice and straight. And those 2 require different routing styles.
Gotcha. So, like, what have been the catastrophic failures or mistakes that you've made while designing PCBs? maybe you get a prototype in and you made some kind of horrific miscalculation.
Well, yeah, I've made a few mistakes until well, I've made a few mistakes. On the Atom 47, the first revision, I swapped the entire pin out for the micro USB connectors. So what should have been ground was VCC and the other way around. So it didn't work, obviously. And another one is on the Plane 60C. I put the ISO enter in a wrong position, so it's yeah, not working.
Yeah, you fixing that though? Yeah, I know you're fixing it.
Yeah, everyone who needs one is getting a replacement, so that's all sorted.
Yeah, I know. Gio had to buy my Plane 60C spot so I can get another one later on because of the ISO issue. But yeah, cool. So in terms of other projects, is there anything secret or anything upcoming that you can tell us about?
Anything secret? Let me check my folder. I've got a big folder, man.
Big folder of secrets.
Just while you're looking it up, a shout out to Japanese Horror Writer for the 1,000 bits with the lovely ROP emote. So thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make some kind of Plane 60C, but for Tada 68, which would also be compatible with the Kayak and NZ because they're all using the same PCB.
Okay. And just one of the things, I know you don't like to do hot swap boards, and you covered why you don't like that because of the spacebar issue you had. What's your thoughts on LEDs and RGBs?
Good question. Yeah, I don't like them. I really don't. I tried. No, my second board I built was a DC60 with an RGB transparent case, and I sold it immediately. Because I just didn't like it. It's kind of a gimmick to me.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. And did that drive your decision on the Plane 60 boards to not put those features in?
Yeah, well, it was part of it. And I'm not using LEDs at all anymore.
So if someone comes to you and they ask you for a PCB with RGB LEDs and hot swap, what would you say to them?
I would say I'm not doing Bluetooth, and I'm not doing in-switch RGB either. I'm just gonna do it if you want to. That's fine. But I'm not gonna do those two things.
You can have anything you want apart from those two things.
Yeah.
Are they just too annoying to design around for you, or do you just not like them once they're finished?
For Bluetooth, it's just that I don't know anything about Bluetooth on AVRs. And with in-switch RGB is basically that I don't know how to implement it. And I don't really want to get into that either.
Yeah, I know Yankar and Wilbur have some serious discussions on how they implement that into QMK, so it is interesting. Bluetooth, I would like to see. Something I want to do is have a Bluetooth 60% PCB that fits one of my boards that may or may not be coming. So yeah, I might have to try and force you to learn that one, Maarten. We'll see how that goes.
Well, we'll see.
That's a very non-committal answer. Okay.
It's better to know how to do it at least, just in case you ever have to. I imagine.
Yeah.
Mao Zero subbed tier 1 sub 18 months in a row. So thank you very much for that. That's another OG 18 months.
Oh wow. Yeah, I missed that earlier. Wow.
And Geo gifting a sub to Mech Merlin. Very nice. Thank you for that.
Nice. 58 subs is gifted in this channel. 58 subs.
I think he's the gift sub leader, I imagine.
I think I think Ham's not far behind, but 58 is a huge amount of gift subs. Wow, thank you, Gio. Really appreciate that, man. Really appreciate that.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Okay, So, guys, if you've got any questions for either us or for Maarten, we are entering that part of the show now where you can use the @TopClack tag and start asking us any questions for the Q&A section. So Maarten's going to stay with us while we talk about all your questions. So if you want to do that, please do tag us so we can see the questions nice and easily, and feel free to ask away.
Yeah, and while we're waiting for the questions to roll in, I just kind of want to get your thoughts on what you think the best and the worst thing about our community is.
Ooh.
What do you dislike the most about the keyboard community?
Yeah,
be open and honest as well. Yeah.
Okay, some of the things I really, really dislike is theft, and well, if I have to call names, I would say the van stealing colorways. That was really not nice of him.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, you don't have to call names. That's totally up to you, by the way.
Yeah, no, I know.
You can answer however you want, however you're comfortable.
Another thing I don't like is when someone posts an IC for a keyboard which does or does not have certain features or layout coverage, and people are like, "Can we have this and that for this?" And I'm like, "Come on, dude! It's his keyboard."
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think a lot of designers have their own ideas of what they want, and then people kind of question that and try and change it around. But a lot of people are designing boards just for themselves. If you look at, what people like UPass are doing with Satisfaction 75 and all of these smaller things.
So am I. I think most of people are just designing boards for themselves.
Yeah. That's kind of how it all started. Like, you design something because you like it, and then like if other people like it, now you got the starting of a group buy. Like, that seems to be the general path that it takes. So on the flip side, what is some of your favorite things about the community?
Yeah, what you like, apart from TopClack, because we know you love TopClack.
Oh yeah, I mean, we already know we're everyone's favorite, clearly. So aside from
I love you, Jay.
Oh, thanks, man.
Hey, you can't take Jay away from me, all right?
I know.
I'll fight for you.
One of the things I really like is how we just help each other out, especially when people don't know how to solder, or when they have a brick PCB and they just need to fix it, or really the keyboard design channel in the main Discord is really good. I'm not really active in the other channels, so I wouldn't know about the other channels. And the Europe channel, you guys know. They're great people.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think you're right. I think the way the community can sometimes band together to help each other out is really, really good to see. There's a lot of very helpful people out there, and there's a lot of projects ongoing between different people as well. And it takes a lot of people to make the hobby go around. But yeah, I agree on that. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for the Discord share, guys.
No problem. Yeah, I thought we should share your Discord chat as well. If anyone wants to jump into Maarten's Discord, the link is there in chat as well, so you can get updates on his Plane 60C group buys and number of pieces.
I'm kind of doing a different group buy every month, so if you join that server or check my website regularly, you'll be up to date.
Yep.
Cool.
So
you know when Plane 60Cs are available.
Yeah, this is one of the benefits of being on TopClack is we let you just shamelessly pimp whatever you want. So you can just shill anything, and we're totally okay with it. All right, so Melodit has a question asking you any plans to do a larger scale Plane 60C group buy. So I think a lot of people are kind of wanting those, and maybe if we can get the price down even farther with a higher MOQ, could be really good for a large scale group buy.
That is true what you're saying, yeah. I just don't know. I might keep doing small runs like I'm doing right now. I may eventually do a big round with the US proxy and all that jazz.
Okay, so it's kind of a watch this scene on that one, is it?
Yeah, I'll just have to see what I think is right.
Cool.
Fair enough. Do you do a lot of the SMD work yourself? when you do these small ones?
Yeah, all of it.
You do all of it. Wow.
All of it.
Okay, that's wow. That's a Herculean task that I would never undertake. So shout outs to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do one board and then I'd struggle. So for anyone that doesn't know, I ordered some PCBs from Maarten recently, and I was tempted to do one myself, and in the end, I just thought, no, it's easier to get Maarten to do it. But he turned it around in a really quick time as well. So if anyone does have any custom projects, Maarten's a good. There he is. There's his weapon.
This is great.
You do SMD work with just an iron?
Well, not this tip, but yeah, I do it with this. I use where is it? Can't find my other tip. Okay.
You don't even have like the solder tweezers or like a rework station, hot air station?
I have well, these. They're pretty good.
You are a monster.
But no, I don't use hot air or anything like that.
Wow. That's crazy. I would not want to do all of that, especially with just an iron. So shout out to you.
I'm going to show you some pictures later on, Brian, of the JR1 PCB that he's done for me, and because the level of soldering skill on those is unbelievable. They look like they've come off a pick and place machine. They don't look like they've been.
That's impressive, because whenever I do any kind of SMD work, it looks like it was done by a 3-year-old.
Same. Yeah. Works.
Yeah, I can get it to work, but boy, it doesn't look very good. So
yeah. Well, you get better at it with the more PCBs you do.
Yeah,
so
I imagine so. My hands are not very steady. It's hard for me to do work that small because I have huge hands too. So doing like SMD work that's like, you know, the diode is like smaller than a grain of rice. You know, it's hard. It's difficult. For
yeah, I know. I've got these diodes to solder pretty soon.
Oh man,
I'm a mad lad.
You are a bad lad, dude. You really are. ISO returns asking, is Top Clack keeping Maarten up on a school night?
They are not. I'm here voluntarily, and I'm off for a week of school, so I'm all good.
Nice.
Oh, good. But it is early morning for you. I think you're an hour ahead of me, and it's nearly 4 a.m. here, so it must be nearly 5 a.m. where you are.
Yeah, that's true. It's almost a quarter before it's 5 a.m.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for staying up and joining us then. Any other questions? Oh, Pink Roy says Nathan Kim has just started streaming. The choices. Oh my god. Well, there is no choice. It's Top Clack, man. That's where you want to.
Yeah,
go.
it's always Top Clack.
I mean, we're going to be wrapping up here very shortly, and then you can just head over there and watch Nathan Kim. So you watch both.
Absolutely.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. In fact, maybe we'll even raid him. That'll be fun for a second. If I can remember.
Yeah,
we should do that.
We should do. Yeah. We can do that afterwards. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, any last minute questions, guys? Looks like there's not very many today, but if you guys have any questions for either Maarten or myself or Jay or all of us, make sure you put those in the chat now using the @TopClack tag so we can see them easier. And that would be super helpful. The Sweaty Yeti is bumping it up with 250 bits, and
wow,
a lot of them are birthday bits. So
yeah, birthday cakes for mine.
Yeah,
nice.
Birthday cake.
Yeah, thanks.
So, thank you very much, Sweaty Yeti. Definitely appreciate that.
Just we're waiting for a couple of last minute questions coming through. Have you got any build streams planned this week, Brian?
Nope. Sure. No.
Oh, okay.
I'm still not cool. I don't have anything that came in. I mean, I might be able to do some stuff. We'll see. I have to. I am gonna rebuild my TMO50. I think it's not going to be that interesting though, because I'm probably just going to keep the same switches. I'm just swapping the bottom row layout to do the full space bar like a pleb. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be desoldering my Zephyr to replace the PCB. I might throw some different switches in there, just for the sake of variety. So I might have something going on. We'll see. It depends on how much of the other work that I have to do off stream first that I need to get done.
Cool. Okay, I've got a stream on Sunday in the usual slot, so 8 p.m. UK time, which is 12 noon San Francisco or Pacific Coast time. And it's 3 p.m. Eastern time, I think. But this week I'll be building an Alf X 1.1 TKL board for a friend. So second friend build in the space of 2 weeks, which is delaying my builds. But yeah, the JO1 will be the week after. So I know a couple of people asked about this. The gaskets have finally shipped. They're on the way. I just need to wait for them to arrive, but it's unlikely they'll be here either tomorrow or Saturday. So the JO1 build has been pushed out a week. But yeah, it will happen a week on Sunday. I know. Yeah.
Just kidding. All right, back to a couple more questions before we take off, because a couple more came in. ISO returns asking 1800 PCB win from Maarten.
Yeah, good question. I've got prototypes coming in soon.
Okay, and group buy to follow shortly afterwards, or?
I might stock them. I might actually stock all the products I'm gonna sell instead of doing group buys.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'd be good.
Because I've created a great enough buffer to be able to do that. So thanks to everyone who's buying my products. So shout out to you.
Good.
So yeah, if they're good, I'll put them up on the store.
Nice.
Excellent. So watch out for that ISO return. So I think if you stick around in Maarten's Discord, he'll let you know when that happens.
I should actually add email notifications now that I'm thinking of it.
Yeah. Set up a newsletter for your store. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pluto19 has a question as well. He says, how bad was your first time soldering, Maarten? What was the quality of it?
Ooh, well, not great. It was a Game Boy, which I tried to mod a bit, but I was using lead-free solder and a pretty terrible soldering iron. I would not recommend that. So if you're new to soldering and keyboards, just get a TS100 or TS80 even. They're pretty great, and also really get leaded solder. It really helps.
Yeah.
Good tip.
Pilot XJ asking what our desoldering tool of choice is. I use the Hakko FR300 that I've had for a while.
Yep, so, I use the same.
Yeah, it's a bit of an investment though. Maarten rocks the classic old legendary blue.
Do you know what the thing is though? The thing is, I've seen some of Maarten's desoldering, and it's just as clean as what I get with the Hakko machine as well. It's unbelievable how talented this guy is.
Some people are just really good with. I keep one on hand too because I don't usually bust out the big guns unless I'm like actually desoldering a full board. If I'm just doing
I'll bust it out even for one switch.
Oh wow, you're crazy. Yeah. I'm confident enough with the good old blue here that I can do a couple switches and not have it be too big of a problem.
I have just much easier.
I have not lifted one pad recently with those cheap pumps.
You're definitely a warrior when it comes to soldering and desoldering. Do you think that maybe as you move forward into the future and your store kind of progresses that you'll upgrade to better equipment, or just keep the old standbys?
I might get an oven or hot air station maybe.
I think
to speed up the process a bit.
Yeah, the oven could be pretty game changing for that actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should chat with Yankar because he built his own oven for that. He got loads of parts and made his own oven. So you should have a chat with Yankar on that one.
Yeah, I should actually. Yeah, I know he's done the HS60s with an oven himself. So
yeah.
Looking at those, it's pretty good.
Yeah, cool. Probably a lot faster.
I
imagine.
Yeah, I don't know how you manage school and soldering 20 boards.
Well, school's going terrible, so yeah, that's kind of that. Every PCB kind of takes me 1 to 1.5 hours. It's all right.
Well, that's a lot faster than I would be.
Yeah, I'd be 3 times that easily.
Pilot donates 200 bits there. Thank you very much for that. And a Geo
Nice.
asking if I ever shipped your package, Jay.
Yeah, well, I need to.
Maybe-
What we need to do for this is I need to have a section at the beginning of what didn't arrive for mail day, and every week it's going to be the box from.
Well,
the box
see, if we get that serious about it though, I'll just have to never ship it because like that'll have to be the running gag. But no, I mean I was snowed in for a week and I straight up couldn't leave, and then and now that I'm out, I don't really have an excuse. But but yes.
So shipping when?
Coming to a UK near you. The Sweaty Yeti donates another 250 bits with some of those birthday cakes. Those adorable little fluffy birthday cakes. Thank you very much for that, sir. All right, I think we're... yeah, sorry, go on.
With one question. Maarten, favourite key set?
Ooh, I don't know. Currently it's The Beautiful Alchemy by Chris Wires.
Yeah, DSA Chris Wires, yeah, nice.
And I mainly like PBT, so otherwise it would be Enjoy PBT 909, I think.
Oh, okay, nice. Good choices, both good choices.
Yep, and we'll finish off with one more question. Melodit has a pretty good one that I definitely relate to. He asks, have you ever forgotten that you ordered something? I just got a text with a tracking number and I have no idea what it's for. That happens to me like every single month. Like once a month I'll be like, what is this? And I'll just like wait until it arrives and I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
I can completely relate. So I have a permanent tab open on my PC and it's got 17 track on it. And as soon as I get a tracking link, I put it in there. And I always forget to put tags on it. And then I'll check the tracking link and I'll refresh the page every couple of days. And I'll think, oh, something's arriving tomorrow. And I'll have no clue what it is. And then I'll have to either go to emails and search for the tracking number to see if I've got it that way, or to PayPal and try and find the reference number. Sometimes I have no idea and I just have to wait until the postman turns up to find out what it is. So I completely relate to that.
I don't. I really don't. I keep all my tracking numbers in Aftership. It's a good app, so I can keep track of all of that stuff that's coming in.
I should start using.
You sound much more organized than me.
Yeah, I don't use any of that stuff. I just like when stuff comes in, I'm like, cool, I got stuff in.
Do you keep a track of what you've bought though, Brian?
I
do.
Have
a spreadsheet of what you've bought?
Yeah,
okay.
But it's just
I don't. No, I would be scared if I did, I think.
Yeah. I don't add the value to it of what I paid for something, but I do. I try and keep a list, but I often forget to add stuff to the list. If I buy something on the go on the mobile or while I'm at work or whatever, I'll get home and I'll forget to update the spreadsheet, and then it'll just turn up later on. That happens quite frequently.
Yeah. Oh well. as long as we all get our stuff, that's what matters.
Yeah. I wonder if I've ever paid for something that I haven't got because I've forgotten to track it.
That'd be fun to look back on.
And G10, I really don't know if leaded solder is illegal in the EU, and I wouldn't care either.
So it actually is illegal in the EU at the minute. It's leaded solder.
Mad lad.
But it is available. So what happens typically is that there will be a load of products on Amazon and eBay, and depending on when you check, depends on whether they're actually there or not. Sometimes they get taken down, they get put back up, and they get taken down, and they get put back up, and they get taken down, and it's kind of a bit of a cat and mouse game to get the right solder in the EU at the minute. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm buying mine from China. It's this one. You may find it on AliExpress. It's really good.
Yeah, that's the other secret. Don't shop on an EU store. Shop on a Chinese store to get your games.
Yeah. Takes 2 weeks, but it's worth it.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, well, I think that's probably as good a time as any to call it quits. We're about to hit that 2-hour mark, so I think we've made a pretty good time. So to start, thank you so much, Maarten, for joining us on the show today and giving us some insight into the things that you have going on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
thank you very much.
allowing me to join you.
Absolutely.
Anytime. Thank you very much.
And thank you all to all of you that are out there watching right now. We appreciate it, and hope you have a good rest of your night. If you want to catch us on our official Discord, you can click the Discord link below the channel, as well as our YouTube channel if you want to check that out maybe. You can head over there as well. It's also linked below the stream. And of course, Jay will be streaming on Sunday as usual. I may or may not be streaming on some random days. Mine are usually a little less scheduled because I don't have nearly as much stuff to do. And of course, we'll be back just like today at our main show next week, same time, same place, Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific. So make sure you check that out as well. So thank you all for especially for all the subs and bits today. You guys turned it up hard today. So thank you very much for that, guys.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, no,
that 20,000 bits from Zeal will give us a bit of a wake-up call. It was unbelievable. So thank you very much, Zeal.
I thought
really
that level of stuff only happened on Nathan's stream, but like,
exactly,
whoa.
Yeah. 20,000. Just crazy.
Speaking of which, we're gonna raid Nathan. I think I remember how to do this.
Oh.
Come.
I think that is actually against Twitch terms of service.
Twitch have got they've got
it's a built-in rating system. Yeah.
You can do built into Twitch now.
I think I got this right. I think it's just /raid in the channel name. So we're gonna hopefully try that out. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And either way, we'll catch you later. But we're gonna go compliment Nathan on his hair. That's okay, whenever cool. Whenever I raid him, it's usually we have to compliment something. So we're gonna go with hair this time.
Sounds good.
What? Oh, I got the username wrong. Whoops. Teha Types? I think that's what it is. Bam. There we go.
Oh, what the? I have never seen that before.
Yep, so raid will start in 2 seconds.
Okay, bye. I guess.
Raid now. Yeah, so our stream's gonna end. It should already be over actually, and then we're just gonna...
Yeah,
we switched over.
All it really does is send everyone that's watching over to Nathan's.
Okay, that's interesting.
Right? Oh man, hilarious.
Oh wow, I need to be a follower to chat.